Hello, I'm Shade with Trusty Inspections. We're here at Anthem Coffee in Puyallup, Washington, and we're here with Mary P. Smith from Auburn ReMax.
Yes.
So, Mary, would you like to share a little bit about yourself?
Sure. Thanks for inviting me, first of all. I'm Mary Smith, as you mentioned, and I work at ReMax in Auburn, and we also have a written office. I've been doing real estate for a few years now, and met you through a recommendation from a friend who's also in the business, and we've been working for a couple of years, and really appreciate your thoroughness in my reports. I love the reports, how they come out. They're easy to read, and the turnaround time is great, because when we're working in the real estate industry, you got to have data pretty fast to get in that market and get your house bid for.
Well, thank you.
You're welcome. Great.
So you have some questions for me?
We do have some questions. Why is an inspection important for a home?
Well, we know that the buying process for a home buyer and even for the agents can be stressful. So the whole idea of it is to inform the buyer the overall condition of the house, from the roof down to the foundation, so that way they can get all the information they need, and that they can make a educated, informed decision whether to buy the house or not, or something they're comfortable with buying.
Great. So as I mentioned before, I love your turnaround time, but what is normally the cost of a home inspection? When is the money due? How long does it take you to turn that around? And should my buyer be there with you at the inspection? And do they get a walk around with you?
Well, the cost of the inspection depends on the year build of the house and the square footage of the house. And when the client is there, we recommend the client to be there, so that if they have any questions or anything they want to point out, then they can be there to do that. But if they're not, for whatever reason, that their work schedule cannot permit it, whatever it may be, that they can be confident that they're going to have a report that's very well detailed, very well thorough, and it has a lot of pictures in it. And then turn around, they will receive the report in the PDF file along with all the documents they need within 24 hours.
That's great. Yeah, 24 hours is a great turnaround. And I appreciate how flexible you are, because like you mentioned, some people can't always make it because they have normal 9-to-5 jobs, right? And you've been really flexible to come out in the evenings or the weekends. So I appreciate that. So tell me a little bit about what you're looking for in your home inspection. You said you go from top to bottom. So how do you do electrical and roof and furnace and water heaters and all that?
So yeah, I have a HVAC. I used to be a journeyman license. I'm a journeyman electrician here in Washington State. I also take classes in HVAC, so I know what things to look for. Basically we're looking for things that are out of place. If a roof is shingles missing on the roof, or if we have cupped shingles or puckered plumbing boots, stuff like that. Broken outlet, things like that. That's what we're looking for. So to see things that may be a hazard, safety hazard, or just defective and not normal. So.
Is there anything on the water heater or the furnace that will tell me how old it is, or if I have to replace it, or?
Generally, when we look at water heaters, we look at what year the house is built. So if the house is within 15, 16 years old, then we know it's original, and then we can tell them that it's original. But if the house is questionable and we don't know if it's an older house, usually most of the time you can look up the serial number, and then they can usually have a breakdown of the date and the serial number, and then we can go from that.
Okay, great. Yeah, we've done a lot of houses together, so some of the things that we've seen from the home inspection is stuff like we have this great home on the outside and remodeled on the inside, great countertops, wood floors. You go down and you've seen tanks, oil tanks that have been down there, and structural issues. So we talk about why it's important, because it looks great on the outside, but when you get to different places in the home, you've been able to identify some issues. The report that you give out, can you tell me a little bit more, and what is a buyer supposed to look at the report? What does your report look like, and what should they pay attention to?
So then when you take all that information, we put it in the summary, and the summary is where the summary one makes it easy for the broker. It also makes it easy for the customer to see the things that are structurally concerning, the bigger things right off the bat. So things, hey, we need to go to bat with and take care of those things.
Once you work through why the home inspection is important and work through the purchasing of the home, now you're stuck with home maintenance. And a lot of people are coming from places they may not have had to take care of in the past, right? And you don't know what you don't know, right? So, and with us being in the Northwest, right, we get a lot of rain, we get moss on our roofs. So what's one thing that you could tell a buyer for a tip on this video, what to do every year? I know that for us, our gutters are really crazy full because we have trees around. And when they get really full, we've got windows and they can leak. So we have to take care of them probably twice a year. I mean, we are out there a lot.
Yeah. Yeah, well, water is a big deal here in the Great Northwest. So on the average roof, when you're down, each downspout, there's about 750 to 1,500 gallons of water coming down.
Wow, that's a lot of water.
Yeah, so if you have plugged gutters, well, you're not even gonna have a 1,500 gallon waterfall coming out of the gutter onto the ground, which is not very exactly feeling.
No.
It makes a mess with the beauty bark and gets everything all wet and creates problems. So the number one thing to say is to take care of the gutters. Make sure that your gutters are clean. Your downspouts, all the parts are connected. Your splash blocks are where they're supposed to be. And just making sure you come in the spring before you get into fall that that's all taken care of. And I do recommend doing it once a year. It might be needed to be done more during the fall time if you have a whole bunch of trees around the house with pine needles and leaves, stuff like that. You might want to take a peek there, whenever the cloud clears, where you can kind of get some of that stuff out of the gutter. So.
Yeah. And talking about downspouts, so I know that we've had instances with crawl spaces that have water in them, or you kind of see up around the top of the house where the wood looks a little damaged or something like that. So is there recommendations about how to, do you have to have certain diverters or anything like that for water spouts? Or
talking about diverters and stuff like that, I think the biggest thing is the splash blocks or having the hoses connected at the end of the elbows. So there's two different systems. One is the drains that you go into the perforated black pipe.
Right.
So your downspouts go straight into that. Well, if you just make sure that they're going into that, then you're usually good to go. If you have splash blocks, you need to make sure your elbows are there. The splash blocks is what diverts the water away from the house. So the importance of that is that if the water if you have no splash blocks, or if you have no elbows, then the water is just right there at the foundation. So when you get one of those nice heavy, 6-inch waterfalls, rains that we have here in the Great Northwest, well, the ground becomes oversaturated and the water has nowhere to go.
Right.
So where's it going to go?
Yeah.
It's right up against the foundation, so it's going in the foundation, into the crawl space. And once that crawl space gets about 12% humidity, and then you got carpet rants and other things want to, take residence in your crawl space, which is not good. So.
Right. Yeah. And we've seen some that the spouts don't line up, and so they just don't even, it's like, wait, line those up, right?
Or it's disconnected and off to the side, and it's just coming out straight out of the gutter. Oh, well, the gutter's there. I guess that's all that matters. But like we're talking about, it all has to be connected and has to be working.
Yeah, and like you said, it shows how the current owners are taking care of their home. Just to do those small things make a big difference in the care of your home. Talking about carpenter ants and all those other things, because we've seen some even in detached garages where people put wood up against their house and stuff like that. So is there something seasonal, like should I not put my wood up against the house? Should I be doing one thing in the fall to get ready for the rain that we have here? Are there different things that I should be doing in different seasons?
Yes, absolutely. There's different things that we need to do. Like we have a maintenance book that we have available for our clients that spells all that stuff out. So like during late spring, just the beginning of summertime, that's a good time to pressure wash your house and get ready to start prepping the paint, because sometimes people get behind the gun. They're like, oh no, the homeowners association, we don't want to get fined, and right at the last minute, they're kind of getting into end of September, and they're pressure washing the house, slapping some paint on. They're like, we got it done. And about early springtime, to have bubbles on the paint because they wait until they don't want the siding to get a chance to dry before they painted it. So we take that stuff in consideration, and we put that checklist together for maintenance in our maintenance books that we make available for our clients.
Do I get that maintenance books when I do home inspection with you, or how do I get those?
We make them available when we go on site.
Okay, great.
If you love the house or you love the structure, do not stack wood against the house.
Okay.
Even though if you may not have carpet rants at your house, or wherever it is, if that wood has been infested, especially with beetles or termites, and then you take that and you stick it, pile it up against your house, and then now you're just saying, hey, here's my house, you know. So,
come on in.
Yeah, come on in. So.
And I know we've seen the old railroad blocks, because people think those are great to put in their yard decorations, right? So are those kind of questionable too, or?
Railroad ties. A lot of times they like to make borders up in front of their flower bed and have to touching up against the house.
Yeah.
I would strongly recommend using stone or brick for that, because last thing I know is carpenter ants and termites don't like concrete. So.
Right. Yeah. Okay. Good. So back to inspections. What do you look for in the home inspection? Do you test electrical? Do you go underneath? Do you test the plumbing? I mean, what can I expect from you so I don't have to be worried about what I'm buying, or my buyers don't have to be worried about what they're buying?
So basically, we're going over from the top of the house to the bottom of the house. Structural, roof, electrical, plumbing, all those things. We're just looking for things that are unordinary, that are not right, that are not correct, that are non-functional for the stuff that we do test, and then we just put it all together to a package of the report to inform the client of what's going on. So at the time we get there on site, the first thing we do is we talk to walk you through the process. We go over the pre-inspection agreement, and then we ask them, okay, is there anything about the house that kind of raised some questions that you want me to pay special attention to, and I'll write those things down. And then we offer them the opportunity to say, okay, ma'am, if you like, you can follow us along and ask some questions, but write things down, but you don't need to, because we'll cover that all in detail. We have all your pictures, so if you want to, you can follow us around. Or if you want to go ahead and take another walk around so you can find something else, take some measurements, kind of move in,
Right, yeah.
You're welcome to do that too. It's totally up to you.
Yeah, I think you've been really flexible with any of the buyers that I brought your way, and you do that recap at the end, which is great, right? You sit down with them and you just say, hey, here's the things I did find, and they'll be in my report, which is kind of a heads up for us to just start having those conversations about what those next steps might be. Well, those are all the questions I have. Thank you for the opportunity to get some of those questions out and some tips for some buyers, and look forward to working with you some more.
Oh, thank you, Mary. It was a pleasure.
Thank you.
All right, this is Shade Forkner with Trusty Inspections. If you have any questions or like to schedule an inspection, please call us at 253-350-3332, or you're welcome to our website at trustyinspections.com. Thank you. See you on site.
Bye.